My mother-in-law wanted my husband's ex to be his wife and even invited her to have dinner with us. So I got my revenge. The first time it happened, I thought maybe I'd misunderstood. My husband Felix and I had been married 6 months when his mother Donna called to invite us to Sunday dinner. We showed up with wine, walked into her dining room, and there sat Violet, Felix's college girlfriend, the one who dumped him because she got a job offer in Paris. "Oh, you remember Violet," Donna said cheerfully. "She just moved back to town." The entire meal, Donna directed every conversation toward Violet. "Remember when you two went to that vineyard? Violet, tell us about Paris." I sat there, the actual wife, being systematically erased. It happened again 2 weeks later. Then again. Donna started calling Violet her future daughter-in-law in front of me. Started posting old photos of Felix and Violet on social media, with captions like "some people are just meant to be." The breaking point came at Felix's birthday dinner. Donna arranged the seating, so Violet sat next to Felix and I was at the opposite end of the table. She'd ordered his favorite cake, the one Violet used to make for him. That night, I started documenting everything, screenshots of her social media posts. I recorded a dinner where she introduced Violet as Felix's partner while I stood right there. I saved every text. I built a file. Then I scheduled lunch with Violet. "Are you trying to get back together with Felix?" I asked. She looked horrified. "God, no. Donna keeps calling me. I've tried to be polite, but this is getting uncomfortable." "So you're not in love with him?" "I'm engaged," she said, showing me a ring, "to a woman." I started laughing. Then Violet started laughing. We became friends, bonding over how unhinged this was. 2 weeks later, Felix's parents hosted their annual charity gala. Donna had told me I wasn't needed, but Violet texted me that Donna had begged her to come help host alongside Felix. I showed up anyway. The venue was packed with Donna's social circle. I waited until Donna was in the middle of her welcome speech, then stepped forward. "Before we begin," I said, "I'd like to share some family photos." I'd had a video made. Every screenshot, every recording, every documented instance of Donna trying to replace me with Violet. The room went silent as it played on the main screen. There she was, calling Violet her daughter-in-law, seating me away from my own husband. The final clip was from last week. Donna telling Violet, once he realizes his mistake, "You'll be back where you belong." When the lights came up, I smiled. Now I'd like Violet to share some news. Violet stepped forward, linked her arm through her fiancés who I'd secretly invited, and announced their engagement. "Donna has been very kind," Violet said carefully, "but I'm marrying Gabriel next spring." The crowd erupted in whispers. Donna tried to speak, but nothing came out. I walked over and handed her an envelope. Inside was a letter from a lawyer. Not a lawsuit, just documentation of harassment and a formal request that she cease all contact with Violet. "You have 2 choices," I said quietly. "Apologize publicly right now and get therapy. Or Felix and I leave this family and you never see us or your future grandchildren again." Donna's hands shook. The entire ballroom watched and waited. Felix crossed the room and stood beside me. "Well?" I asked. Donna's face went from pale to deep red. Her mouth opened and closed like she was trying to form words but couldn't quite get them out. Felix's father, who'd been standing near the bar looking like he wanted to disappear into the wallpaper, finally stepped forward. "What the hell is going on here?" he said, looking between his wife and the frozen crowd. "I think Donna should explain," I said, not breaking eye contact with her. She finally found her voice. "This is ridiculous. You're making a scene over nothing. Violet and I are friends. I'm allowed to have friends. Friends don't try to replace their son's wife," Felix said quietly. His voice was calm, but I could hear the anger underneath. "Mom, I've tried to talk to you about this 4 times. 4 separate conversations where I told you this needed to stop. You're overreacting," Donna said, but her voice wavered. "Both of you are being so sensitive." Gabrielle, Violet's fiancé, stepped forward. She was taller than Violet, with short dark hair and the kind of presence that made people pay attention. "Ms. Donna, I've been hearing about these dinners for months now. My girlfriend comes home upset every time. She's tried to set boundaries with you, and you've ignored every single one." The crowd had gone completely silent. I could see phones out, people recording. Donna's carefully curated reputation was crumbling in real time. "I never," Donna started, but Felix cut her off. "You seated my wife at the opposite end of the table at my birthday dinner," he said. "You posted photos of me and Violet with captions suggesting we should be together. You told Violet on record that I'd realize my mistake and come back to her. What exactly are we overreacting to?" Felix's father looked at his wife with something between confusion and disgust. "Donna, is this true?" She didn't answer, just stood there, the envelope trembling in her hands. "The apology," I reminded her. "Or we leave." "You can't do this to me," Donna whispered. "Not here. Not in front of everyone. You did this to yourself," Felix said. "We're waiting." The silence stretched out. I counted the seconds. 10, 20, 30. I was about to turn and walk away when Donna's sister, who I'd met maybe twice, spoke up from the crowd. "For God's sake, Donna, apologize. This is embarrassing." Donna's perfect composure finally cracked. Her eyes filled with tears, but I couldn't tell if they were genuine or performative. "I'm sorry," she said, so quietly I almost couldn't hear her. "Louder," I said, "and specific." She took a shaky breath. "I'm sorry for trying to interfere in your marriage. I'm sorry for making Violet uncomfortable. I'm sorry for disrespecting you in your own relationship. And?" Felix prompted. "And I'll stop. I'll leave Violet alone. I'll respect your marriage. The therapy? I asked. Donna looked at her husband, who nodded grimly. Fine. I'll go to therapy. Felix took my hand. We're leaving now, he said. Don't contact us for a while. We'll reach out when we're ready. We walked out of that ballroom with Violet and Gabrielle right behind us. The four of us made it to the parking lot before any of us spoke. That was the most insane thing I've ever witnessed, Gabrielle said. And I used to work in reality TV. We all started laughing, the kind of hysterical laughter that comes from releasing months of tension. Violet leaned against her car, wiping her eyes. Thank you, she said to me. I've been trying to figure out how to get out of the situation without hurting her, but she just kept pushing. You're free now, I said. We all are. Felix pulled me close. I should have done that months ago. I kept thinking she'd come to her senses. Your mom doesn't strike me as someone who comes to her senses on her own, I said. That night, Felix and I sat in our apartment going through everything that had happened. His phone was blowing up with texts. Some from relatives who'd been at the gala, some from his mother. We ignored them all. Do you think she'll actually go to therapy? I asked. Felix shrugged. Even if she does, I don't know if it'll help. She's been like this my whole life. Not about relationships, but about control. Everything has to be exactly how she imagines it. Tell me. He sighed and leaned back on the couch. When I was 8, I wanted to play soccer. She'd decided I was going to be a pianist. Signed me up for lessons, bought a piano, the whole thing. I hated it. I'd cry before every lesson. Finally, my dad put his foot down and let me quit. She didn't speak to him for 3 weeks. Jesus. Or, when my sister wanted to go to art school, Felix continued. Mom had already decided she was going to be a lawyer. Told everyone at the country club about her daughter, the future attorney. My sister went to art school anyway, and Mom refused to help pay for it. Didn't attend her graduation. Didn't visit her student exhibitions. Just pretended that whole part of her life didn't exist. Where's your sister now? Living in Portland. We talk every few weeks. She's a successful illustrator. Has a gallery showing her work. Mom still introduces her as being between jobs. That's sick. It's who she is, Felix said quietly. I thought maybe with you it would be different. You're not her child, so she couldn't control you the same way. But then she just found a different angle. Through Violet. Through Violet. He shook his head. I genuinely liked Violet when we dated. She was great, but we wanted different things. She wanted Paris and adventure, and I wanted to stay here and build something stable. We broke up, and I was sad for like a month, and then I moved on. But Mom never let it go. She'd bring Violet up randomly. Tell me I'd made a mistake. Show me Violet's Instagram post from Paris. Did Violet know? Not until recently, apparently. She thought Mom just wanted to stay in touch. She had no idea Mom was using her as some kind of weapon. We sat in silence for a while. Then Felix's phone buzzed again. He glanced at it. It's my dad. He wants to talk. Do you want to? Felix thought about it. Yeah. He's been stuck dealing with her his whole marriage. I should at least hear what he has to say. He put the phone on speaker. Son, his dad's voice came through rough and tired. I need you to know I had no idea it had gotten this bad. You never noticed? Felix asked. I noticed she was being weird about Violet. I told her to back off multiple times, but I didn't realize she was actively trying to sabotage your marriage. If I had known, I would have stopped it. Would you have? Felix asked. Because from where I'm sitting, you've spent 30 years letting her do whatever she wants. There was a long pause. You're right, his dad finally said. I've made excuses for her behavior for too long. I told myself she was just passionate or particular or that she meant well. But tonight, seeing all those people's faces, seeing what she put you and your wife through, I can't pretend anymore. So what now? Felix asked. Now your mother and I are going to have a very serious conversation about her behavior and whether she's willing to actually change. And you and your wife are going to take all the time you need away from us. If and when you're ready to have a relationship again, we'll be here. On your terms. Felix looked at me. I nodded. Okay, Felix said. But Dad, if she doesn't actually change, if this is just her waiting it out until she thinks enough time has passed, we're done. I'm not putting my wife through this again. Understood, his dad said. I'm proud of you for standing up for your marriage. I should have modeled that better for you. After they hung up, Felix pulled me close. I'm sorry, he said into my hair. I'm sorry I didn't shut this down harder earlier. You tried? I said. She just didn't listen. Still, you shouldn't have had to deal with this alone. I wasn't alone, I said. I had Violet, weirdly enough, and I had all those receipts. He laughed. You're terrifying when you want to be. That video was brutal. She needed to see herself. They all did. The next few weeks were quiet. We blocked Donna's number. Felix's dad would text occasionally with updates. Donna had found a therapist. Donna was going twice a week. Donna wanted him to tell us she was sorry. We acknowledged the messages but didn't engage beyond that. Felix's sister called one night, laughing so hard she could barely speak. I heard what happened at the gala, she said. Oh my God, I wish I'd been there. Mom has been unbearable to everyone her whole life, and you finally made her face consequences. Do you know how satisfying that is for me? Felix grinned. Glad we could provide entertainment. Entertainment, she said. You provided a public service. I've already heard from 3 cousins who want to buy you drinks. Aunt Patricia said you're her hero. How's Mom taking it? According to Dad, she's cycling between denial, anger, and self-pity. She keeps saying everyone's being cruel to her, that she was just trying to help. The therapist apparently told her that she has some kind of control issues stemming from her own childhood, and she needs to work through them. She's not taking it well. Shocking, I said. Who's this? Felix's sister asked. My wife, the one Mom tried to replace. Oh, I like her already. Listen, whenever you two are ready, I'd love to meet you properly. We could grab dinner in Portland. No parents invited. We'd like that, I said. A month passed, then 2. Felix and I settled into a peaceful routine without Donna's constant interference. We had dinners with friends, went to movies, took a weekend trip to the coast. It felt like we were finally getting to just be married without someone trying to sabotage it. Then Violet texted me. Donna just showed up at my work. My stomach dropped. I called her immediately. What happened? I asked. She walked into my office building, Violet said. The receptionist called me because this woman was asking for me and crying. I went down and there she was. Full breakdown, mascara everywhere. She begged me to talk to Felix for her. Said she'd made terrible mistakes and she needed him to forgive her. What did you do? I told her no. I said I wasn't getting involved in their family issues and that she needed to respect the boundaries they'd set. She started crying harder and saying I was the only one who could help her, that I was like a daughter to her. Jesus. I had security escort her out, Violet said, but it was really uncomfortable. My coworkers were staring. My boss asked if everything was okay. I'm so sorry. Do you want me to send the lawyer another letter? Maybe? I don't know. I thought we were done with this. I thought so too. I told Felix when he got home from work. He sat down heavily on the couch and just stared at the wall for a minute. She's never going to stop, he said finally. Maybe she will. Maybe this was a last desperate attempt and she'll realize it didn't work. Or maybe she'll escalate. Felix ran his hands through his hair. My whole life, whenever she didn't get what she wanted, she just pushed harder. Different tactics, but always pushing. What do you want to do? I want to cut her off completely, he said. No contact at all. Change our numbers if we have to. But I feel guilty because she's my mom and she's clearly struggling. She's struggling because she's facing consequences for her actions, I said. That's not your fault. I know. He looked at me. But what if she really is trying to change and we don't give her a chance? Then she can prove it by respecting our boundaries and leaving us alone. If she can go 6 months without trying to contact us or manipulate people into contacting us for her, maybe we can consider talking to her. But right now, she's still trying to control the situation. You're right, Felix said. God, I hate that you're right, but you are. We sent a formal cease and desist letter through the lawyer. No contact with us, no contact with Violet, no contact with our friends or coworkers. Felix's father got a copy. So did Donna. His dad called that night. She's devastated, he said. She brought this on herself, Felix replied. I know. I'm not asking you to change your mind. I'm telling you how things are here. She's not sleeping, barely eating. She's convinced she's lost you forever. Has she? Felix asked. His dad was quiet for a moment. I don't know, son. That depends on whether she can actually change. Right now, she's just panicking because she's lost control. Until she can understand why what she did was wrong. Not just that it had consequences she doesn't like. I don't think real change is possible. Do you think she'll get there? Another pause. I hope so. But I've been married to her for 35 years, and I've never seen her truly take responsibility for hurting someone. She's always got a reason or an excuse, or she's the real victim. Then maybe some distance is good for everyone, Felix said. Maybe, his dad agreed. Take care of yourselves. I'll keep you updated, but I won't push. We appreciate that. After he hung up, Felix looked exhausted. I made him dinner and we watched something mindless on TV, not talking about Donna or the situation or anything heavy, just existing together. 3 months went by. Quiet months. No ambushes at work. No flying monkeys sent to guilt us. No social media posts. Felix's dad sent occasional texts. Donna was still in therapy. She'd joined a grief support group for mothers whose children had gone no contact. She was reading books about controlling behavior. It all sounded good on paper, but I couldn't shake the feeling that she was just learning better tactics. Then Felix's sister called again. So Mom showed up at my apartment, she said. Are you kidding me? I wish. She drove 6 hours to Portland to cry on my doorstep about how she's lost both her children and her life has no meaning. What did you do? I let her in for exactly 15 minutes, his sister said. Gave her water, let her calm down. Then I told her the truth. I said she hadn't lost her children. She'd driven them away by refusing to respect them as adults with their own lives. I said if she wanted a relationship with either of us, she needed to prove she could respect boundaries without using guilt or manipulation. How'd she take it? Cried more? Said I was being cruel? Said I'd changed since moving to Portland. All the greatest hits. So I gave her a choice. She could leave on her own or I could call the police for trespassing. Did she leave? Eventually. But not before telling me I'd regret treating my mother this way someday. That when I had children I'd understand. The classic, I said. Right? Anyway, I wanted to warn you. She's clearly spiraling and looking for anyone who might give her access to Felix. Make sure your workplace knows not to let her in. Already done, I said. But thank you. After we hung up, I checked our security cameras. We'd installed them after the last incident, just in case. Nothing unusual. But I made a note to be extra vigilant. That weekend, Felix and I were having brunch with Violet and Gabrielle when Violet's phone rang. She glanced at it and her face went pale. It's Donna. Don't answer, Gabrielle said immediately. I'm not, Violet said, declining the call. But how did she get my new number? I changed it after the work incident. The phone rang again. Then again. 5 calls in a row. Block it, I said. Violet did, But then her work phone started ringing, then Gabrielle's phone, then mine. She's calling everyone, I said, staring at my screen. How does she even have my number? Felix's face was dark. She probably got it from my dad's phone without him knowing, or from some family directory. All 4 of our phones were ringing now. Other diners were starting to stare. We need to leave, Felix said. We gathered our things and headed for the door, but not before I answered one of Donna's calls on speaker. Stop calling us, I said. You're violating the cease and desist. I just need to talk to Felix. Donna's voice came through, high and desperate. Please, just 5 minutes. I need to explain. No, Felix said loudly enough for her to hear. You need to stop. I hung up and we all blocked her from our phones. But as we walked to our cars, I couldn't shake the sick feeling in my stomach. This wasn't someone who was changing. This was someone who was getting more desperate. Should we call the police? Gabrielle asked. And say what? Felix said bitterly. My mom called us a bunch of times? They won't do anything unless she actually threatens us or shows up. Then maybe we should leave town for a bit, Violet suggested. Just until she calms down. We shouldn't have to rearrange our lives because she can't take no for an answer, I said. But even as I said it, I was already mentally planning an exit strategy. That night, Felix and I stayed at a hotel under my maiden name. It felt ridiculous and paranoid, but also necessary. We both barely slept, jumping at every sound in the hallway. In the morning, Felix's dad called. Your mother is missing, he said without preamble. What do you mean missing? I mean she left the house yesterday afternoon and hasn't come back. Her car is gone. She's not answering her phone. I've called everyone I can think of. Did you call the police? They said she's an adult and there's no evidence of foul play. They won't do anything for 24 hours. When did you last see her? Felix asked. Yesterday around 2. She seemed... His dad paused. She seemed determined. Said she was going to fix things. Oh God, I said. Felix's jaw tightened. If she shows up here, we're calling the police immediately. Where are you? His dad asked. Not telling you that, Felix said. No offense, but she might check your phone. Fair enough, his dad said tiredly. Just be careful. I don't think she'd hurt you, but she's not thinking clearly. We spent the day moving between coffee shops and libraries, never staying in one place too long. I felt like we were in some kind of psychological thriller. Every middle-aged woman I saw made my heart race. Around 5, Violet called. She found me, Violet said. She was waiting outside my apartment when I got home from work. Is she still there? No. I called the cops as soon as I saw her. They showed up and she left, but not before shoving a letter under my door. What does it say? Violet was quiet for a second. It's addressed to Felix. Should I open it? Felix leaned toward my phone. Open it. We heard paper rustling. Then Violet started reading. Dear Felix, I know you don't want to hear from me, but I need you to understand. Everything I did came from a place of love. When Violet left you, I watched you hurt, and I never wanted to see you hurt like that again. When you married her, this stranger who I didn't know, I was afraid. Afraid she'd hurt you worse. Afraid she'd take you away from me. I thought if I could just make you see that Violet was better, safer, that I'd be protecting you. But I see now that I was wrong. I wasn't protecting you. I was trying to control you. The therapist helped me understand that my fear of losing you became a self-fulfilling prophecy. I drove you away by trying to hold on too tight. I'm not asking for forgiveness right now. I know I don't deserve it, but I'm asking for a chance to prove I can change. Not through grand gestures or showing up where I'm not wanted, through patience and respect and actually doing the work. I love you. I'm sorry. I'll wait as long as it takes. Mom. Violet finished reading and there was silence on the line. What do you think? She finally asked. I think she's saying what her therapist told her to say, Felix said. But I don't know if she actually believes it. She's been sitting outside my apartment for hours, Violet added. The cops made her move her car, but she's parked down the street, just sitting there. That's not respecting boundaries, I said. That's stalking. I know, Violet said. I wanted you to know. Thank you for telling us, Felix said. And I'm sorry she's dragging you into this again. It's not your fault. After we hung up, Felix and I sat in the car in a random parking lot, trying to figure out what to do. We could file for a restraining order, I said. Based on what? Phone calls and a letter? The pattern of behavior? Showing up at workplaces? Harassing Violet? Violating the cease and desist? It might work, Felix said, but it might also escalate things. They're already escalated. She's stalking Violet. Felix dropped his head into his hands. How did it get this bad? It was always this bad, I said gently. You just couldn't see it because you grew up in it. My phone buzzed. A text from a number I didn't recognize. This is Felix's mother. I know you don't want to talk to me, but please listen. I never meant to hurt anyone. I just wanted my son to be happy. I thought I knew what was best. I was wrong. I'm getting help. Real help. I know my actions have been inexcusable. I'm not asking for anything except the chance to prove I can respect your boundaries. I won't call. I won't show up. I'll wait. However long it takes. I just needed you to know I understand now. I'm sorry. I showed Felix. He read it twice. Block the number, he said. I did. But the messages kept coming from new numbers. All similar. All apologetic. All promising to change while simultaneously violating the one boundary we'd set by continuing to contact us. She's not getting it, I said. She's still trying to force a resolution on her timeline. We need the restraining order, Felix decided. This is harassment. We spent the next day documenting everything. Every call, every text, every incident. Violet provided her own documentation. Felix's sister sent screenshots of Donna's attempts to contact her. We had security footage from my workplace showing Donna trying to get in. We had the cease and desist letter she'd violated. The lawyer was confident we had a case. The hearing was set for 2 weeks out. In the meantime, we stayed with my parents 3 hours away. My mom, who'd been watching this whole saga unfold, looked at Felix with such sympathy. My own mother tried to control my life until I was 30, she told him. Finally had to threaten to never speak to her again before she backed off. Even then, it took years before she truly changed. Some people just can't let go. Do you have a relationship with her now? Felix asked. I do, my mom said. But it's on my terms. I call her. I visit when I want to. She no longer gets a vote in my decisions. It works because she finally accepted she didn't have power over me anymore. How long did that take? About 5 years of strict boundaries. Felix looked devastated. 5 years? Maybe less for you, my mom said kindly. Every situation is different. But the point is, you can't let her guilt or desperation change your boundaries. She'll only respect them when she realizes you mean them. The day of the hearing arrived. Donna showed up with her own lawyer, looking thinner and older than I'd ever seen her. Her eyes were red-rimmed. She kept glancing at Felix like she was trying to memorize his face. The judge reviewed our documentation, reviewed the cease and desist, reviewed Donna's violations. Then he looked at Donna. Ma'am, do you understand why we're here today? Donna's voice shook. Yes, Your Honor. I haven't been respecting my son's boundaries. Can you explain why you've continued to contact them after being asked to stop? Because... Donna paused, tears streaming down her face. Because I'm his mother and I love him and I can't accept that I've lost him. The judge's expression didn't change. And do you understand that your inability to accept their boundaries is exactly why they need this protection? Donna nodded, unable to speak. I'm granting a 6-month restraining order, the judge said. No contact of any kind. No calls, no texts, no showing up at homes or workplaces, no contact through third parties, no social media mentions. If you violate this order, you will face criminal charges. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor, Donna whispered. I'm also recommending you continue therapy and consider a support group for family estrangement. This court recognizes you're in pain, but that doesn't give you the right to harass people. I understand. As we left the courthouse, Donna stood across the parking lot, just watching. Not approaching, not calling out, just watching. It was somehow worse than all the desperate attempts at contact. This quiet devastation. Felix squeezed my hand. Let's go home. Home was our apartment, finally. We'd installed better security, changed our numbers, set up alerts. We were as safe as we could make ourselves. Life slowly returned to normal. I got a promotion at work. Felix started a new project. We hosted Violet and Gabrielle for dinner and laughed about how we'd all become friends through the weirdest circumstances. We took a vacation to somewhere neither of us had been before, making new memories untainted by family drama. 3 months into the restraining order, Felix's dad requested a video call. We debated whether to take it, but curiosity won out. He looked tired but calmer than the last time we'd spoken. I wanted to update you, he said. Not to pressure you or ask for anything, just to let you know how things are here. Okay, Felix said carefully. Your mother is still in therapy. She's actually working at it this time, not just going through the motions. She joined a support group for parents whose children have gone no contact. She's learning about narcissistic tendencies and control issues. That's good, Felix said neutrally. She asks about you every day, his dad continued. I tell her I don't know how you are because we agreed I wouldn't share information without your permission. It kills her, but she doesn't push me to violate that boundary. How are you doing? I asked. We hadn't really considered how this was affecting him. Honestly, it's been hard. I'm realizing how much I enabled her behavior over the years, how I chose the path of least resistance instead of standing up for what was right. I'm in therapy too now, working on my own stuff. Felix's expression softened slightly. I'm glad you're getting help. I want you to know, his dad said, that whatever you decide about your relationship with your mother, I'll support it. If you decide you never want to see her again, I'll understand. If you decide to give her another chance eventually, I'll be there for that too. But I won't pressure you either way. Thank you, Felix said. And I want to apologize, his dad continued. For all the years I stood by and let her treat you and your sister the way she did. I told myself it wasn't that bad, or that it was just her way. But it was bad, and you both deserved better. After the call ended, Felix sat quietly for a long time. Do you think people can really change? He finally asked. Some people, I said, if they want to badly enough and they're willing to do the work. But wanting to change and actually changing are different things. I don't know if I'll ever be ready to have her in my life again. That's okay. You don't owe her a relationship just because she gave birth to you. The restraining order was set to expire in 3 months. We'd have to decide whether to renew it or let it lapse. Whether to open the door even a crack or keep it firmly closed. One night, I found Felix looking at old photo albums. Pictures of him as a kid with his mom. She was smiling in all of them, looking like any other proud mother. It's so strange, he said. Looking at these, you'd never know how controlling she was. How everything had to be her way, or she'd make everyone miserable. Narcissists are great at performing for the camera, I said. Do you think she actually loved me? Or did she just love the idea of me that she created in her head? I think she loved you the best way she knew how. It just wasn't healthy love. It was possessive and conditional. Felix closed the album. I don't want to be like her. When we have kids, I want them to feel free to be themselves, to know we love them no matter what choices they make. You already are different, I said. You recognized the pattern, and you broke it. 2 weeks before the restraining order expired, a package arrived. No return address, just our names. Inside was a handwritten journal, Donna's handwriting. The first page read, Felix, if you're reading this, it means the restraining order has expired and you've chosen to open this package rather than throw it away. I don't know if you will. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. But just in case, I wanted you to see the work I've been doing. The journal was filled with therapy exercises, reflections on her behavior, acknowledgments of specific times she'd hurt Felix or his sister. No excuses, no justifications. Just honest examination of her actions and their impact. I see now that I treated you like an extension of myself rather than your own person, one entry read. When you wanted soccer instead of piano, I saw it as a rejection of me. When you chose a different college than the one I'd picked, I felt like you were saying my judgment wasn't good enough. I made your childhood about my ego instead of your growth. Another entry. I don't know if I can fully explain why I fixated on Violet. The therapist says it's because she represented a time when I felt I still had control over your life. When you broke up with her, I thought there'd be time to guide you to someone I approved of, someone I could manage. When you married someone I didn't choose, someone I didn't even know, it felt like losing you completely. So I tried to undo it, to rewrite reality to something I could control. I see now how deeply disturbed that was. Felix read the entire journal in one sitting. I watched his face cycle through emotions. Anger, sadness, hope, skepticism. When he finished, he set it down and just stared at the wall. What are you thinking? I asked. I'm thinking this is what I always wanted to hear from her, he said. Real accountability, real understanding, but I don't know if I can trust it. You don't have to decide anything right now. The restraining order expires in 11 days. If we let it lapse and she goes back to her old behavior, we'll have to start this whole process over again. So we renew it for another 6 months. Give her more time to prove this is real change and not just another manipulation tactic. What if she really has changed and we're punishing her for trying? Then she'll understand that trust takes time to rebuild. That 6 more months of boundaries is a natural consequence of 2 years of harassment. Felix called his dad. Did you know about the journal? He asked. I knew she was working on something, his dad said. She asked if I thought you'd read it if she sent it. I told her I didn't know, but she should respect whatever choice you made. Did you read it? No. She said it was private. Between her and you. Felix took a breath. We're renewing the restraining order for another 6 months. There was a pause. I think that's wise, his dad finally said. She needs to prove she can maintain these changes long term, not just until she gets what she wants. How is she going to react? Honestly, probably with more tears and devastation. But then hopefully she'll understand why you need more time. If she's really changed, she'll accept it. If she hasn't, she'll violate the new order and prove you were right to be cautious. We renewed the restraining order. Donna's lawyer didn't contest it. According to Felix's dad, Donna cried for 2 days, but then she went back to her therapy appointments and her support group and her journal writing. Life continued. Felix and I celebrated our 2nd anniversary. Violet and Gabriel got married in a small ceremony where Donna's name never came up. Felix's sister had a baby and we drove to Portland to meet our new niece. The 6 months passed quietly. No violations, no attempts at contact, nothing. When the 2nd restraining order expired, we had a decision to make. We met with the lawyer. You could let it lapse and see what happens, she said. Or you could renew indefinitely. Or you could propose a structured contact arrangement. Maybe one supervised meeting with a therapist present to see if she's actually maintained her progress. What do you recommend? Felix asked. The lawyer leaned back in her chair. In my experience, people who make genuine changes don't push for immediate full access. They understand they've broken trust and it needs to be rebuilt slowly. If Donna respects that you need time and space, that's a good sign. If she immediately starts pushing for contact the moment the order expires, that tells you something too. So we wait and see what she does? Exactly. You've set clear boundaries. Now see if she respects them without a court order forcing her to. The restraining order expired on a Tuesday. We waited. No calls, no texts, no ambushes at work, nothing. Wednesday passed, then Thursday, then a full week. Felix's dad called on day 8. Your mother wanted me to tell you something, he said. She wants you to know she's respecting your space, that she's not going to reach out until and unless you're ready. She asked me to tell you she loves you and she's sorry, but that's it. No pressure, no timeline. How is she? Felix asked. Better than I've seen her in years, actually, his dad said. She's volunteering at a women's shelter. She's repaired her relationship with your sister. She's become someone I actually enjoy spending time with instead of someone I have to manage. Felix looked at me. I shrugged. It was his call. Can you ask her if she'd be willing to do a supervised therapy session? Felix said. Just one, with a therapist present. No promises beyond that. I can ask. The answer came back within an hour. Yes. The session was scheduled for 3 weeks out. Felix was a wreck the entire time. He'd change his mind daily about whether this was a good idea. The night before the session, we lay in bed staring at the ceiling. What if she hasn't changed? Felix said. What if this is all just a long con to get me back so she can go back to controlling everything? Then we walk out and never look back, I said. You don't owe her infinite chances. What if she has changed and I can't forgive her? Then you tell her that. Forgiveness isn't mandatory just because someone apologizes. The therapy office was neutral territory, a calm beige room with comfortable chairs and a box of tissues on every surface. The therapist was a woman in her 50s who specialized in family reunification. Donna arrived separately, 5 minutes early. When she saw Felix, her whole face crumpled, but she didn't move toward him, just stayed in her chair, hands clasped in her lap. "Thank you for coming," she said quietly. The therapist started with ground rules. No interrupting, no accusations. Everyone gets to speak their truth. The goal isn't resolution, it's understanding. "Donna," the therapist said, "why don't you start by telling Felix what you've learned?" Donna took a shaky breath. "I've learned that I saw you as an extension of myself instead of as your own person, that I measured my worth as a mother by how much control I had over your choices. When you made decisions I didn't agree with, I felt like it was a reflection on me, like I'd failed." She looked down at her hands. "I never learned how to love someone without trying to control them. My own mother was the same way. She picked my college, my major, even my husband. I thought that was what mothers did. I didn't realize until therapy that there was another way." "What changed?" Felix asked. "Losing you," Donna said simply. "The restraining order. Sitting in that courtroom and seeing the fear on your face. Realizing I'd become the kind of person my child needed legal protection from. It broke something in me, the part that kept justifying my behavior." She finally looked up at him. "I can't undo what I did. I can't give you back the wedding planning I ruined or the first year of your marriage I poisoned. I can only tell you I understand why you had to cut me off and that I don't blame you." Felix was quiet for a long moment. "Do you understand what you did to Violet?" he finally asked. Donna nodded. "I weaponized her. Used her as a tool to try to break up your marriage. I made her so uncomfortable she had to change her phone number and worry about me showing up at her job. I owe her an apology too." "Have you apologized?" "Through her therapist, yes. She asked that I not contact her directly, and I've respected that. I sent a letter through her therapist expressing my remorse and making it clear I expect nothing from her. I just wanted her to know I recognize how badly I behaved." The therapist turned to Felix. "How are you feeling right now?" "Confused," Felix said, "because this is what I always wanted to hear from her. But I don't know if I can trust it." "That's understandable," the therapist said. "Trust is earned slowly, especially after it's been broken repeatedly." "I want to believe you've changed," Felix said to his mother. "But wanting something doesn't make it true." "What would help you feel safer?" Donna asked. "More time? Different boundaries?" "I'll do whatever you need." Felix paused. "I need this to be real. Not a performance to get me back so you can go back to how things were." "It's real," Donna said, tears streaming down her face. "I know I don't have a right to ask you to believe me. I've lied to myself and everyone else for so long, but this time is different. I'd rather never see you again than go back to who I was." The session lasted 90 minutes. By the end, Felix had asked Donna about specific incidents. Her affair with trying to seat me away from him at his birthday, her social media posts, her harassment of Violet. She didn't make excuses for any of it, just acknowledged what she'd done and why it was wrong. When the session ended, the therapist asked if Felix wanted to schedule another one. "Can I think about it?" he asked. "Of course." In the parking lot, Donna lingered by her car, clearly wanting to say more but holding herself back. "Thank you for coming," she finally said. "For giving me even this much." Felix nodded. "We'll be in touch." On the drive home, Felix was quiet. I didn't push him to talk. Sometimes you just need to sit with things. That night, he pulled out the journal Donna had sent months ago, read through it again. "I think I want to try," he said, slowly. "Maybe one supervised session a month. See if she can maintain this for a longer period." "Okay? You're okay with that?" "It's your mother," I said. "I'll support whatever you decide. But the first time she crosses a boundary or starts trying to control things again, we're done." "Agreed," Felix said. We scheduled monthly therapy sessions. The first few were awkward and emotional. Donna would cry, Felix would be guarded, the therapist would guide them through difficult conversations. But slowly, something shifted. Donna started asking Felix about his life without criticizing his choices. She listened when he talked about work without suggesting he should do something different. She asked about me without the barely disguised hostility she used to carry. 4 months in, Felix suggested having dinner. Just the 3 of us. No therapist. "I'm not sure I'm ready for that," I said honestly. "I understand," Felix said, "but I think I need to see if she can maintain this outside the therapy office." "What if she can't?" "Then we go back to no contact and I finally have closure." We chose a public restaurant. Neutral ground. Donna arrived on time, dressed simply, carrying a small gift bag. "This is for you," she said, handing it to me. "It's not much. Just something I saw that made me think of you. No pressure to keep it if you don't want it." Inside was a beautiful leather journal and a nice pen. "I remembered you mentioned wanting to start journaling," Donna said. "Felix might have mentioned it months ago. I wanted you to know I listen when people talk about what matters to them." It was such a small thing, but it was the first time Donna had ever given me something that reflected who I actually was instead of who she wanted me to be. "Thank you," I said. Dinner was surprisingly normal. We talked about Felix's work, my promotion, a movie we'd seen recently. Donna asked questions and actually listened to the answers. She didn't offer unsolicited advice or subtle criticisms. She was just pleasant. When the check came, Donna reached for it, but Felix stopped her. "We'll split it," he said. "I'd like to pay," Donna said, "to celebrate your promotion. And I'd like to split it," Felix repeated gently, "as equals." Donna paused, then nodded. Of course. You're right. It was such a small moment, but it represented everything. Felix asserting a boundary and Donna actually respecting it. In the parking lot, Donna hugged Felix briefly. Thank you for giving me a chance, she said. I know I don't deserve it. You're doing the work, Felix said. That means something. Over the next year, we slowly rebuilt a relationship with Donna. It didn't look like the relationship Felix had with her growing up. It was more distant, more formal, with much clearer boundaries. But it existed. She came to our house for Christmas, but she stayed in a hotel instead of expecting to stay with us. She asked if she could bring anything instead of showing up with food she thought we should eat. She met Violet and Gabriel for coffee and apologized directly for how she'd treated them. It wasn't perfect. There were moments when I could see her old instincts kicking in. The way her mouth would open to offer unsolicited advice, then close as she remembered herself. The way she'd start to rearrange things in our house before catching herself. But she was trying, really trying. 2 years after the gala, Felix's sister had a second baby. We all gathered in Portland for the christening. Donna held her granddaughter with tears in her eyes. I almost missed this, she said quietly. I almost lost all of you because I couldn't let go of control. But you didn't, Felix's sister said. You're here now. That night, we all had dinner together. Felix's dad, his sister and her husband, Violet and Gabriel, me and Felix, and Donna. We laughed and told stories and argued about what movie to watch later. At one point, I caught Donna watching everyone with this look of wonder on her face, like she couldn't believe this was real. After dinner, she pulled me aside. I know I've apologized before, she said, but I want to say it again, for everything I put you through, for trying to replace you, for making the first years of your marriage so difficult. You didn't deserve any of that. Thank you, I said. I appreciate that. You were right to stand up to me, she continued. If you hadn't, I'd probably still be trying to control Felix's life. I'd have missed all of this. She gestured to the living room where everyone was arguing about the movie. Real relationships with my children, grandchildren who actually want me around, a husband who likes spending time with me instead of just tolerating me. I'm glad you did the work, I said. A lot of people wouldn't have. I didn't have a choice, Donna said. It was change or lose everything. I chose change. She paused. I know things will probably never be the same as they were before. That Felix will never fully trust me the way he did when he was young. I've accepted that. I'm just grateful to be here at all. We watched Felix playing with his niece, making her laugh with silly faces. He's a good man, I said. Despite everything, he's kind and patient and willing to give people second chances even when they don't deserve them. He learned that from his father, Donna said. Not from me, but I'm trying to learn it now. 3 years after the gala, Felix and I found out I was pregnant. We debated for a long time about whether to tell Donna, whether we wanted her involved in our child's life. She's been consistent for 3 years, Felix said. 3 years of respecting boundaries. 3 years of doing the work. If we're ever going to trust her, now's the time. And if she backslides, then we protect our child first, he said. No question. We told her at a family dinner, kept it casual, announced it to everyone at once so she wouldn't feel singled out or special. Donna cried, but in a normal way. Happy tears. She hugged us both and said she was excited and couldn't wait to meet the baby. She didn't immediately start planning or offering advice or trying to take over. She just expressed happiness. Later, she sent a text. Just wanted to say congratulations again. I know you'll be wonderful parents. If you need anything or want advice, I'm here. But I trust you to figure out what's best for your family. Boundaries respected, always. It was such a small thing, but it meant everything. Our daughter was born on a sunny morning in May. We'd agreed beforehand that we'd have the first few days alone before visitors. Donna knew this. She sent flowers to the hospital with a card that said simply, "Congratulations. Take all the time you need. We'll be here when you're ready." When we finally did introduce her to her granddaughter, Donna held her with such tenderness. She didn't offer advice unless asked, didn't criticize our choices, didn't overstay her welcome. "She's beautiful," Donna said, handing our daughter back when she started to fuss. "I should let you feed her. I'll get out of your way." "You can stay," I said, "if you want." "Are you sure?" "I'm sure." So Donna stayed. She washed bottles without being asked. She held the baby so I could shower. She made dinner and cleaned up without making it seem like our house wasn't good enough. She'd become the mother-in-law I'd always hoped for. It had just taken a complete breakdown of the relationship and years of work to get there. One night, when our daughter was 3 months old, I found Felix in the nursery just watching her sleep. "What are you thinking about?" I asked. "How different this is from my childhood," he said. "How our daughter is going to grow up with grandparents who respect us as parents, who support our choices instead of undermining them. You're sure your mom is going to maintain this?" "No," Felix said honestly. "I'm not sure. But she's earned the chance to try. And if she doesn't, we'll handle it. But I think she will. I think she finally understands what she almost lost." Our daughter started to stir. Felix picked her up, soothing her back to sleep with practiced ease. "You're a good dad," I said. "I'm trying to be everything mine wasn't," Felix said. "Present, respectful, supportive of whoever she becomes." "You already are." Donna visited once a week, always calling first, always respecting when we said it wasn't a good time. She never showed up unannounced, never stayed too long, never criticized our parenting choices even when they differed from how she'd raised Felix. When our daughter turned 1, we threw a birthday party. Donna asked what she could bring instead of just showing up with whatever she wanted. The party was full of family and friends. At one point, I saw Donna and Violet chatting in the corner, laughing about something. They'd never be close friends, but they'd reached a place of comfortable civility. Felix's sister approached me, bouncing my daughter on her hip. "I never thought I'd see this," she said. "See what?" "Mom being normal, respectful, like an actual person instead of a controlling nightmare." "People can change," I said. "Most people don't," she countered. But she did. "And it's weird and wonderful, and I still don't fully trust it. But here we are." "Here we are," I agreed. As the party wound down and guests started leaving, Donna helped clean up. Not in the aggressive way she used to, taking over and reorganizing everything to her standards. Just normal helping, throwing away plates, wiping down tables. Before she left, she hugged us both. "Thank you for letting me be part of this," she said, "for giving me the chance to be in my granddaughter's life. I know I don't deserve it." "You've earned it," Felix said. "One day at a time for 3 years now." Donna's eyes filled with tears. "I'm going to keep earning it, every single day." And she did. Year after year, she maintained the boundaries. She showed up when invited and stayed away when asked. She supported our choices even when they probably drove her crazy internally. When our daughter was 3, she told Donna she wanted to take dance classes. I watched carefully for any sign that Donna would try to control or redirect, the way she had with Felix and piano. Instead, Donna just smiled. "That sounds wonderful. What kind of dance?" "Ballet," our daughter declared. "I bet you'll be beautiful," Donna said. And then, to us, "If you need recommendations for studios, I could ask around. But I'm sure you have it handled." "We'd appreciate recommendations," Felix said. "Thank you." It was such a normal grandparent interaction. But for our family, it represented years of hard work and genuine change. Our daughter is 5 now. She loves her grandmother, Donna. They bake cookies together and read stories and have sleepovers. And Donna respects every single boundary we set. When we say bedtime is at 8, it's at 8. When we say no sugar before dinner, there's no sneaking candy. Sometimes I still can't believe this is the same woman who tried to sabotage my marriage, who harassed Violet, who caused so much pain. But she's not the same woman. She did the work. She changed. Last week, we were all at a family barbecue. I was watching Donna play with our daughter and Felix's nieces and nephew. She was patient and kind and present. Felix wrapped his arm around me. "I never thought we'd get here," he said. "Me neither," I admitted. "Do you think you'll ever fully trust her?" I thought about it. I trust that she's trying. I trust that she's done real work. But do I trust that she'll never backslide? No. And I don't think I ever will. "Fair enough," Felix said. "But that's okay," I continued. "We can have a relationship built on cautious trust and maintained boundaries. It doesn't have to be perfect to be good." When it was time to leave, Donna hugged our daughter goodbye. "I love you, sweetie. Love you too, Grandma." Then Donna turned to us. "Thank you for today, for all of it. We'll see you next week," I said. On the drive home, our daughter chattered about her day, about the game she played with Grandma, about the story they read. Normal kid stuff. "Mommy?" she said suddenly. "Yes, baby? Why did you and Daddy not talk to Grandma for a while?" Felix and I exchanged glances. We'd known this question would come eventually. "Sometimes," I said carefully, "people make mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes hurt people we love. When that happens, we have to take space to figure out if we can fix things." "Did Grandma make a mistake?" "She did. A big one. But she fixed it?" "She worked really hard to fix it," Felix said. "And we decided to give her a chance to show us she could do better." "I'm glad you did," our daughter said. "I like Grandma." "We like her too," I said. And it was true. The woman Donna had become was someone I genuinely liked. Someone I was glad to have in our lives. It had taken a public humiliation, a restraining order, and years of therapy to get here. But we'd gotten here. That night, after our daughter was asleep, Felix and I sat on the porch with glasses of wine. "Do you ever regret it?" he asked. "The gala? The video? All of it?" "No," I said. "If I hadn't done that, nothing would have changed." She needed to see herself through other people's eyes, needed to face real consequences. "I used to think I should have handled it differently," Felix said, more privately. "But you were right. She'd ignored every private conversation. She needed the public accountability." We sat in comfortable silence, watching fireflies blink in the yard. "I'm proud of us," I said eventually. "For what?" "For setting boundaries and sticking to them. For not letting guilt or family obligation override our needs. For giving her a real chance to change without being pushovers about it." Felix pulled me close. "We did good, didn't we? We did great." And somewhere across town, Donna was probably in her journal, documenting another day of respecting boundaries and maintaining relationships through healthy means instead of control. Writing about being grateful for second chances and determined not to waste them. The story could have ended so many different ways. With permanent estrangement, with us giving in too early and her never changing, with our family broken beyond repair. But it ended here. With hard-won peace and carefully maintained boundaries and a grandmother who finally learned to love without trying to control. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. It was something better. It was real.